that has nothing to do with those IP addresses anymore. And again, they've continued to send those for months and months. We have right now a customer who has transferred an IP block for more than 1 year, and they keep receiving abuse reports for that block that no longer belongs to them. Also, very, and the most important thing is you should start routing the address space from the moment the RIPE NCC announces you that they have completed the transfer. What happens is, and we've noticed this with great concern, that almost every block that is transferred is immediately hijacked, and millions of emails are spam, millions of spams are sent in the first few hours from the moment the IP block shows as being unused and on the transfer list at the RIPE NCC. So we kind of see that companies, most of them are probably somewhere in Bulgaria or Ukraine, something like that. Those are the countries that show up the most. But we see that there are people, companies, whatever you want to call them, spammers basically, that keep a close eye on the transfer list. And once they see that an IP transfer is on the list, they will try to hijack that IP block and start using it without having the right to do so. So another very important thing is make sure who you talk to. If you don't talk to a broker for an IP transfer and you want to do it yourself, and you really find someone that wants to sell you IP addresses, make sure that the person you talk to has a power of attorney from its company. Make sure that he's authorized to sign on the name of that company, because we've seen a lot of representatives of companies and even very large corporations trying to sell the IP addresses without the company knowing it. They will try to ask you to send the money to a dodgy agent in I don't know what island, or in we've even had one that wanted the seller to send the money to an agent in New York. Anyway, they will try to convince you to send the money either to their private bank account or to one of their agents, and doing so will most definitely make you lose money, because what you'll have to do is, once the RIPE NCC is notified by the company, the seller, that the address space has been transferred without their approval, they will revert the transfer. However, your money is gone. So very, very important, either if you do it yourself, make sure that you receive a power of attorney that is signed by the relevant persons in that company authorizing the sale, or better, talk to a broker, because we've already done this hundreds of times and we have the experience and we can verify that the actual seller knows that the IP addresses are being transferred. Also, you should have a price in mind when you talk to a broker. But do not be surprised if the price from the broker is different than what you've heard or what you have in mind, because the actual IP market is very volatile. It might be that today you could find with a broker an IP block at, let's say, $6 per IP address, and it might be that tomorrow with another blocker you find it at 12. What happens is different brokers have access to different sellers. And the sellers, some might be flexible, some might be very inflexible when it comes to the price. So another recommendation is, and that's, I'm actually telling you how to, how I can lose money, but my recommendation is do talk to several brokers. Do make sure that you know what the price is, and that you've done your homework. One more thing important here, when you talk to brokers, it might be that brokers will tell you and will sell you, or will tell them that they will sell you anything. Most of the times, or some of the brokers don't really have that inventory. They will try to get you into a contract and keep you into that contract while